it might well be a pink hair one, but it would have a caveman pelt. It wouldn't be a cheetah fur, so it would have had a caveman pelt clothing, which transformed when mutated into the banshee.
You know, I just realized that it, like the title now with Vicky up here and the Vic's Vapor Rub. Just takes on a new meaning.
It does. It's a whole
that wasn't intended. Just
a whole new vibe. Here. If we've got any weirdos in the audience, we'll know why.
Yeah.
Well, at least it didn't say only Vicks. If it said only Vicks, then I would have been worried.
Yeah.
Just so that you all know, Vicky is a major troll. She always trolls me, so this is Vicky. And Vicky, I'm just going to let you know as well. I just want to let you know that I am super appreciated that you let me do the derivative of your PFP. I've actually picked, in all honesty, Vicky, I've actually picked up another 2 more mutant apes to do. So I just want to let you know that I'm super grateful and that I fucking love you. So I appreciate it. And you know what? I always appreciate everything you do for me in this space as well. So yeah, mad shout out to you, Vicky. It was an honor for me to work on your derivative, mate. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one. If you give me another opportunity to do another one, you know, I'm your boy. So I'm like your little son here. So I appreciate it, and it was honestly an honor for me. And the fact that I had Brian Morris comment on it, saying this is incredible, that literally just made my day. Like, one of the best derivative artists in the whole NFT space commented on the piece saying this is incredible. It was pretty fucking mental, man. Like, for me as an artist, to get that from Brian Morris, that's crazy. So I feel like I did a good job with that. I did my first ever mutant ape, and I did a good job. And I'm just gonna another thing as well. It literally crashed my computer, bro. This piece literally clocked up like 1,000 layers. All the fur, I did all the fur. I animated every single bit of fur. If you look at the animation and you look at the fur, I really went into detail with the fur. It's every single bit of fur is animated. It's moving like as if the wind's blowing it. And I drew that specifically so I could animate it that way. And man, it literally crashed my computer. I had to go buy a brand new Mac. My whole Sketchbook Pro ended up fucking up. So I had to do an upgrade for that. And then, I pretty much had to upgrade my whole sketchbook, re-download the app. I lost all my brushes, so I had to re-get all my brushes again. This piece literally, at the end of it, it literally ruined my whole system.
That sounds very much like Vendetta. She's very high maintenance.
The fucking hair, the hair is sick though. I love that, the animation on the hair, because I don't know how you did it, but it looks like it actually looks sort of natural.
That's because I pretty much layered every single bit of fur. Like every single bit of fur is like hand drawn, hand stroke. It's not like it's just every line is done. So I pretty much designed it that way so I can animate it that way. So yeah, like it was a big challenge for me. There's a lot of detail in it, and I honestly, like, at the end I finished it with my fucking mouse on my Mac because my Wacom was not responsive with Sketchbook Pro, and I had to literally finish it with a mouse. And bro, it was a fucking headache. I went through it for 3 days. I went through the motions for 3 days. I got it done, and I got it done with a mouse just to finish it on the deadline. So it was a crazy challenge. And in all honesty, I look at this piece of art and it reminds me of a memory that crashed my whole fucking system. So I had to go buy a brand new Mac just to finish this straight up. Like, I'm not even playing. So yeah, bro, honestly, this piece of art was a fucking experience for me. So I just want to let you know, Vicky, this one was actually pretty fucking intense for me. So I appreciate you trusting me on doing the derivative for you. And yeah, honestly, it was an honor, and I love you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, I think it's absolutely amazing what you've done, and I knew that you could do it, and I wanted you to do it because that way then I can share it out and people can see it, because it's no good me saying to somebody, oh, somebody's good, or you should see this, or not having anything to show them, kind of like. And then when you rep something and you show people, look, this is the before and this is the after, then I really think they start to get an idea of obviously how fucking insanely talented you are.
It's
Thanks,
funny.
Vicky. I really do appreciate it.
it's funny. It's like I think there's like a point for artists where we reach a limit with our visions and our technology. Like your vision becomes too big for your tech.
I feel that, bro. I literally feel that. I'm not even joking. Like, this mutant ape was definitely too big for my tech, and I had to upgrade my technology. So, the Vendetta, honestly, has scarred me, but it was a good experience. It actually gave me the opportunity to upgrade my tech, and now I got better tech. I'm pretty much learning a new program. I'm actually learning Photoshop now. So I'm going through the motions of like still using this old program with like these fucking brushes that I've had to like re-customize all over again from scratch. But now I'm learning Photoshop again. So if it wasn't for me doing this derivative for Vicky's 8, I'd probably still be stuck in the same routine and the same like, comfortable experience learning this program. I feel like for ages I've been pushing Photoshop to the side because I feel like it's too techy for me. But I know for a fact that it can take my art to another level. So yeah, it's actually been a pretty good experience for me, and I feel like my art in 2022 will evolve for this exact reason. So it's happened for a reason, and I look at it as a positive sign now. And that's what I mean, Commander. Like I was telling you, man, in DMs, like, fuck. Ever since that moment where, like, my whole tech crashed and everything's happened, like, I've had to relearn a new program and stuff. Like, literally, it's, like, played a big toll on my mental. Um, I've been distant, like, hard from, like, socials recently, even, like, Discord as well. Like, I just literally been going through the motions, like, big time, because I've been so used to, like, learning this program since 2017, and then the program turns around and goes, "Oh, we can't do nothing for you, Luca. Like, the upgrade's just not working on your end." And I'm just like, "Fuck, that's great." You know what I mean? Like, that's great. Like, I'm so used to this program, and then now they just brush me, and I'm just like, I need to go learn a new program from scratch now. So I've got a whole nother challenge on my hands from 2022, and I pretty much quit my job, and I'm doing full-time art now. And I'm like, damn, I need to learn a new program, and I'm trying to make this shit happen. So I've even got an even bigger challenge. So my whole mental's been playing around with me. Just the fact that like I'm going through this experience, but I've got myself here. 5 months of like turned my project into this huge ass crazy fucking monster with like heaps of collectors, and turn this into a massive community which is only growing every day. And man, that I achieved that, I'm sure I can achieve this. Like, there's just another challenge and another stepping stone that I need to get through. And bro, I'm up for the challenge always, man. A lot of people know me as this full positive person, but I just want to let everyone know, like, everyone literally goes through the mental battle. Even the most positive people can go through the mental as shit. Like, I even have my down times, and I'm the most positive person. I always go into mental health spaces and speak to people about, always staying positive and stuff. And I'm going through it right now, like just going through the mental challenge of learning a new program and then things not working out for me, and it's fucked up. But at the end of the day, it's a challenge, and I know within good time, I'll achieve the challenge that's ahead of me, and this is just going to make me grow as a human being and a better artist. So yeah, bro, I just wanted to say that as well, bro, because yeah, I've just been going through it. Now I was on a Twitter rant today, just like expressing myself and how I felt. Like, I didn't care if people judge me or not, but there's certain people that have responded to me that I just haven't got back to yet, just because I've like into a Twitter space and just talk about it how I am now. And there's a lot of people out here that support me and support, me chasing my dreams and me taking my art to another level that benefits a lot of my community members, and that's who I do it for. And I've got more relying on me now as I've quit my job than ever before. So, man, I'm pretty much all in here, and I'm going through this experience. So, I just got another thing under my belt for me to achieve. So, and that's what I mean. Another thing to like people that are like commission me out to do work. That's what I mean. Vicky's created another opportunity for me. Steady, who's in the listeners, he's gave me an opportunity to do a derivative for him that I'm going to kill. And that's what I mean. People that are actually like helping me and, letting me do work for them is allowing me to really keep chasing my dreams and to showcase and push my art skills and take it to another level. And it's people like Vicky and Steady and just a lot of other people, like even Don't Feed Me as well. I'm doing a commission for him. People like this are people that are going to allow me to survive. Like, in all honesty, like I need this commission work and I need to get art out there to survive. So there's a lot of other people in my situation that are in the same boat as me. And if there's anyone out here that is in the same situation as me, I just want everyone to know, like, just stay as positive as you can. Even if you're going through like mental shit, go for a walk. It's going to take a few days. Like, I'm still going through it right now. It's been like a week, man. I'm still trying to bounce back this shit. I'm slowly getting there. it's not a one day flick of the finger where I'm like, oh, I'm positive again. Like, it doesn't work like that. This is just like an experience of like a life changing, chapter that I'm going through from a 10 years being a plumber into like turning my dreams into reality, where I'm chasing my dreams as an artist, and I'm carrying a massive community behind me that's taken me 5 to 6 months to create. Like, this didn't happen overnight. So what I'm going through right now mentally, there's a lot of things I need to accept in my life, but there's a lot of people in this community that love me and have my back with this. So I just want to let everyone know here that, if you guys drop comments or people that have reached out to me, I appreciate you all and I love you all. And I just like, I'm going through it, but I'm good. And the only way to get through this is to keep creating art and just keep taking myself to another level. So, Commander Bro, I appreciate you letting me have this, space just to talk about how I feel right now. But yeah, bro, I just want everyone to know, like, everyone goes through it. I'm going through it, and I'm a positive motherfucker. But yeah, I'm gonna bounce back and I'm gonna become even better than what I was before. So shout out to everyone.
Man, and
Yeah.
everything you said, Luca, the shit that excites me, people ask all the time, what excites you for 22? What you just said excites me. You getting better is a scary thing because you're already top of the line, right? And you learning to just knowing Photoshop the way I understand it, and you having to learn that at this point in your life with the raw skills that you have behind you. Once you get through that hurdle, it gets so fucking easy. Sorry about the language, but it gets so easy so fast, and your art style is just gonna go insane. And I mean, I don't know if you use Procreate too, but you combine the two of those, and that's like a nuclear warhead for you.
I was gonna say the same thing that Secret said. Like, yeah, it can be a little difficult, like in the beginning when you're starting to learn it. But once you get the hang of it, man, it's super easy because then you can also like animate it straight from like you can bridge it straight to After Effects, which is super easy. If you need help, man, if you need tips or something on Photoshop, I got you. I've been using it since I was fucking 11 years old, so I know my way around it.
I just want to say too, that one thing I know, like Luca, you're such a good person, is you just had to upgrade your computer, but before you took care of the your helper, Mr. Pants, before you took care of yourself. Like, I know he needed a new machine, and you got him one like weeks back or whatever, and you're just now only like starting to upgrade and take care of yourself. Like, you were focusing on the people that were helping you out and whatnot before you realized, like, oh shit, wait, I need to also take care of my own shit. Like, so that just speaks volumes too about your character.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. That's another thing. Like, I spent like a whole ETH on Mr. Pants to just run my socials and just so I can like get back to my creativity, because socials, like, I've hit over 5,000 followers, and man, it's intense. Like, man, never in my life has anyone even showed me like any attention at all for my art until 5 months before. Like, 5 months earlier to this, no one even knew me. Like, and then all of a sudden now I'm at this point where I'm like, holy shit, like, people have actually started appreciating like my art and who I am as a person. I'm actually starting to get noticed, and I've never ever been in this situation in my life. I'm 27 years old. No one's ever showed me like or even belief in my art, and the fact that like people will hit me up and be like, hey Luca, bro, I look up to you as an artist, and people hit me up in the DM, and like, this is what I mean. Like, I miss so many things as well on my socials that, there's so many comments that I also miss as well, that, sometimes I beat myself up about it because I'm like, I wish I didn't miss these things, you know what I mean? But I also need to focus on the art, because if I focus too much on the socials, I get too consumed in the socials, and then I lose track of the art and the creativity. So for me, it was based around a smarter decision to think about my mental health and my creativity by, you know, like, at the end of the day, yeah, I've quit my job, and like, I don't know, I'm not a generated art project. I'm just a one of one artist that, you know, sells his art, that has the vision of creating the biggest animation series in the world, and that's my dream. That's really my dream. Like, if you invest in my art, that money's going towards that, and that's my vision. You know what I mean? That's really my roadmap of where I want to take Luca the Astronaut. And I don't have 100 ETHs or 50 ETHs or 20 ETHs like a lot of these generated art projects. Man, I'm just a 27-year-old that's out here trying to chase his dreams, that's working the best he can. And only till now, I've pretty much quit my job, and I'm going full time with art. And for me to give a whole ETH out to someone who's in my community that I've never even met in real life, but I've just been speaking to him like since I probably had about 500 followers. For me, I felt like it was the right thing to do because he offered his own time and has been sharing my work for months and months. And I'm like, man, like these guys are legit, true, loyal friends, more loyal than people that I have in my own family. Like my own brother, I don't even speak to my own brother, and I feel like Mr. Pants is more loyal than my own blood brother. And I'm like, I gave him an ETH without me even hesitating because I'm like, bro, if you can sort out and manage my socials, for me personally, like, bro, it was just a common sense move for me. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to get consumed in social media. Like it's I've never been into social media. I don't want to get consumed in it. I'm a creator. I create things, and this is another thing as well. Like creating artwork. So you look at my art. Like I've got I think 65 pieces on OpenSea that are all fully sold out, and creating every single time like something different every single time is so hard. And I feel like a lot of people fall off because being consistent with being a creator would have to be one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. Like to create something every single time and to make people love it, that's a challenge of its own. Creating something is a challenge of its own, and then making it look good is just another challenge of its own. So like being an artist is not easy, I'll put it that way. Like being an artist is a mental, like a full mental challenge, but it's like this is the path I've chose, and this is what I do, and this is what I love. So it's all a part of like me growing as a human being, me creating and evolving my style, and this is what I love doing. This is why I'm up here speaking right now, just telling my story because people need to hear this. Like if you're a creator, I'm going through the same shit as what you go through. Like it's not easy. Like I look at like Fetty Wap, you know, like same thing with Fetty Wap. He traded Trap Queen, and maybe Scott might disagree with me or whatnot. Like he created some mad songs, and then after that you don't hear from him. It's like that guy that created Panda. He created that one song Panda, and then you never hear from him. Like it's so hard to stay so consistent these days when there's so many other people out there doing the same thing as you. And the fact that every week every day I go back to back to back to back to back to create the best characters I possibly can, it's a fucking challenge and it's hard as hell. And for ages, I've been underselling my art for ages, like just to build a name for myself. And now, man, I'm at the point where I'm starting to get paid slowly for what my worth is.
Yep.
And it's taken a long time to get to this level, but I never started off straight away on 1 ETH. Like I started at 0.02. That was my first ever uploads on OpenSea. Like, and now I'm going to be dropping my new pieces, characters at 0.3. It's taken me ages to get to this level, but I'm not a greedy person. You know what I mean? I'm building the trust with my community and trust with people that, you know, see that Luca's actually put in work. Like he's actual hard worker. And that's the perception, and that's what I've delivered to people and showed people, that I'm really that hard worker. And the fact that I'm out here like still grinding and creating and designing and just going back to back and, you know, doing derivatives for people as well. Like it's just a whole nother challenge for me that, you know, I want to take on because it's going to make me evolve. So I just want people to know, because I know there's a lot of creators out there that are artists, and they go through the same shit. Like they can sit down in front of their computer, and it might take them 1 or 2 weeks to create one character. It's not easy. It's hard, and creating things that people love is even harder. So I just want to let everyone know, like, this shit ain't easy, and running an NFT project without a team, like I've only now just put like a bit of a team together by having Mr. Pants on board. And in all honesty, Commander, like the craziest shit happened last week. I woke up Sunday morning and Casanova and Lily, who's a Luca the Astronaut community member, they had an LTA community chat, and I wasn't even in there, like a space. I wasn't even in there. And it was fucking crazy, man. Like the fact that my own community just went and had a Luca the Astronaut space, bro, literally just bring on the biggest smile to my face, because I'm like, I wasn't even there. And I wake up and they're hosting their own Twitter space without me, and I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy, man. You know what I mean? Like this just shows me, like, and this is what I think, like, people out there really love me for who I am and for what I do. And I've bought some of my collectors' artwork. Like I've shared some of my ETH to other collectors in my community to support them as well. Like, and I'm not rich or anything, but I'm still trying to give back to other people, because I know when I was at that level, how much it meant to me when someone bought my art. So, man, honestly, it's honestly been a crazy experience, and I just want to thank everyone for like all their support and everything. But yeah, man, I'm just starting to get back to myself, and I'm just gonna become even better than what I was before in 2021. 2022, it's just started off with like a bit of a bumpy road, but I know that I had to go through this to kill 2022. So yeah, bro, mad shout out to everyone. I love you all.
We love you too, brother.
We love you too, dude. It's like you've had a lot of growth in the last few weeks, in the last few months. You know, ever since I met you, you've evolved into, you know, and you blossomed into this completely different person, and it's you know, a very positive um, evolution that you've taken. You know, now you have projects going up to you asking you to create, you know, a bunch of PFPs for them, and now you have a bunch of um, apes and all sorts of other people trying to get you to jump on board with them, and it's amazing, dude. Just if you ever get too many, I mean, it's not a bad problem to have too many projects and stuff like that. Just don't let it overwhelm you. You know, um, they're purchasing um, your art, so it'll take a little time for them to get it. You know, and people will wait, um, no matter what time it takes, because they'll know that they're going to get something of quality.
Thanks, Commander, bro. I honestly appreciate it, and that's what I mean. Like, I haven't really been on Discord or anything. Like, I've just been having my own space at the moment, just because I feel like it's the right thing for me to do. Because I know, like, even today, like I moved into my own place 2 months ago, and I felt like, okay, why am I feeling like this? Shift in my life with me moving into my own place, and I'm like, okay, only now, like it's been a whole new routine that I've had to create, because I was so used to creating things when I was living with my parents still. And I realized, like, even going for like a simple bike ride, man, I haven't been in bike ride for 2 months. Today I'm like, okay, what was I doing before that I'm not doing now? And I'm like, man, a bike ride. And man, I literally went to my parents' house and I went and got my bike and went for a bike ride today. And I felt good. I was like, holy shit! Like, I've been training as well. My diet's been good and everything. It was just like, I think like just everything like just been overwhelming for me. You know what I mean? Because I've never ever felt in my life like attention or people telling me like, hey, Luca, like, you know, I look up to you as an artist and all this. And I'm just thinking like, man, I don't even know who I look up to. And I got people telling me that they look up to me, and I'm like, man, I'm just trying to be the best I can as well. So I don't really know what to say to people. Like, I'm grateful. I'm super grateful at the fact that people feel this way and they look up to me in a certain way. But man, you know, I'm just going through the same thing as what these people are going through. You know, I'm not a famous person or anything like that. Like, I'm just an artist out here trying to make it just like everyone else. But the fact that like people are out here and they look up to me, man, that's crazy as well. And I'm only 17 years old. You know what I mean? I'm going through this whole experience. And then before the NFT space, man, I fell out of love. That was a whole other thing as well that broke my heart, where it's like that shit ruined me as well. And then I found art again. But then sometimes as an artist, you be drawing nonstop. And man, sometimes I'm not even gonna lie. Like, sometimes I appreciate like being in a relationship, but then I'm like, with NFTs, it's like it's hard to find that balance. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm always creating. I'm addicted to creating. I'm addicted to doing art. And then, you know, if I want a relationship, well, then I'm always getting dragged out to go to dinners and go do this and go do that. I lose time doing art. So it's like I feel like I can never win. It's. I think it's something that I need to go through, and it's going to be a whole nother experience that I know will happen at some stage in my life. Um, and it's only going to get more intense because I feel like my art's going to get more popular. I'm going to become more popular as an artist. So I need to expect for what's going to happen. I need to get my mental ready for what's going to happen. So yeah, bro, like there's going to be, this year's going to be a big year. There's going to be a lot of things that happen for me as well, because I have some big plans. But that's what I mean. I've just distanced myself from just everything for the last week, just because, man, I need to get my mental right. Like, and that's the most important thing. When my mental's right, I'm unstoppable and I create insane, phenomenal artwork. And the last week, I have been creating some awesome art, but I just feel like my mental's not 100% like it was at the end of 2021. But yeah, like I say, like everyone goes through these times, and I just need to get control of my thoughts and just fucking run it up, man. So I appreciate your words, Commander, and everyone here. Like, straight up, I love all the support you give me, but Yeah, bro. I honestly super appreciative of everyone, like straight up.
Yeah, man. In due time, you're gonna see a lot more growth. I mean, there's no need to rush anything. You're going to see. 1 second. Sorry. You're going to see a lot of growth no matter what. It's just you just got to kind of pace yourself.
Yeah, I do agree, and that's another thing because I'm drawing full time as well now. Yeah, man, I need to find my routine. You know what I mean? Like I need to find a new routine, and a routine that's good for my mental and for my creativity. So that's what I mean. I'm back into my bike rides now. I was doing walks before, but I felt like I was just doing the same walks. With my bike ride, I just want to be like, I'm just going to ride anywhere and just not even have direction, just ride. And it can be a totally different suburb, but that's what I want to do now. It's just like, I feel like it's the right thing for me, the unknown. I need to get used to the unknown because right now this space is the unknown. Like all I know is that I got a mortgage and crypto can go down to zero. It's the unknown. Like I've taken the risk of being a full-time artist, and the unknown plays on your mind. And I feel like I need to get used to the unknown. That's why I feel like a good practice for me now would be just going for a bike ride and just not knowing where I'm going and just riding somewhere and then just riding back home from wherever I end up. And I feel like that's me starting to get used to the unknown, and me just sort of, even when you go for a drive, it's like you don't even know where you're driving, you're just going for a drive. It's like, oh, just wherever I feel like going, I'm just going to go. And I feel like that's going to get me ready for the unknown of what's going to happen in this NFT space, because you never know what's going to happen. Like this space moves so quick, like so fucking quick. And bro, you don't know, like that's what I mean. Brian Morris commented on my derivative, and that was just, I was not expecting that, and that's just one of them unknowns. And I'm just like, holy shit, that's crazy. So there's plenty of unknowns that have happened in my art career since being in the NFT space. And I just need to get ready for the unknown when the unknown pops up. And sometimes I guess it's a matter of just acting within the moment, because you can't really plan these things. Really, you can't plan none of it. That's what I mean. Like this whole roadmap and everything that like roadmaps that people do, bro. Like you can make this money from a project, and the roadmap you do, the next move you make might be something totally different to what your roadmap is, because your roadmap at that point might not make sense to what money you have now or what situation you're in life. So that's just the unknown. Like really, you can't really plan these things. You know what I mean? So the unknown also brings fear. And bro, fear, I'm not even playing, bro. Fear everyone has. And the unknown and fears is a scary fucking thing. And if you don't have that fear, or you aren't scared of that unknown, I reckon you're lying, bro. Because man, a positive person like me, bro, right now, I got that fear of like, what if this doesn't work? What if that doesn't work? But these are just the thoughts in my head that I need to get together and get control of, because thoughts like this can ruin someone. And I'm a positive person that I just need time to get it under control, because the unknown has happened. Like I've had a crazy life-changing experience. And I feel like once I get a grip of everything, and I've got my roadmap and everything there, it's everything I'm doing is ready to go. It's just a matter of me just getting everything together and just time. And that's what I mean. Time's something that runs short from everyone. But time is something that I've always been like, I don't want to waste it. You know what I mean? Because I want to make my dreams come true. But there's been times, and I've seen Illa the producer, put out this tweet the other week or a few days ago, and it's like enjoying the moment. Man, I look back, there's been so many times in the NFT space where I haven't enjoyed the moments. You know what I mean? I feel like I look back at it and I'm like, bro, I literally wish I enjoyed that moment a lot more. You know what I mean? And that plays on my mind as well. Like as an artist, I'm like, I should have celebrated when I did that. It's like even now, like when I make sales, it's like I don't even really get excited about making the sales. I feel like I get more excited about, when the community is growing, and that person that's new to the community has interacted with other followers and other community members that I've built a good relationship with. And that makes me more happier. Like the ETH just makes me survive. In all honesty, it makes me take the project to another level, and it makes me eat. But the fact that like someone's invested and has, came into the project is really what's big to me, because I just got a new community member that's going to be in my Discord and on my Twitter, and they're going to be meeting other people that love my art. And that's just an unknown thing. Like I haven't made any sales because I'm out of stock. I have no art to produce. And I've always said, like, if you aren't making sales, look at the positive things. And like, I've looked at the positive things, and like Brian Morris, me doing derivatives, I picked up like another 2 more derivative works. And that's what I mean, man. I'm looking at the positives of every situation, and that's just helping me get back to my good mental state that I was, in 2021. But I know I'm going to be better than I was at 2021. So yeah, bro, look, this space, I just want to tell people, like, man, honestly, if you find yourself in a situation where there's like good moments, just enjoy them, because in 2021 there was moments that I did not enjoy, and I look back now and I'm like, I wish I celebrated that moment. And that's something I'm going to focus on in 2022. When something big happens or something awesome happens, I might even just stop drawing for that day, and I might just go out and just like enjoy that moment and be like, fuck yeah, like that was mad. Like that's a self-achievement. I'm going to appreciate that, and I'm gonna absorb that moment, and I'm gonna be in that moment. Why? Because that's gonna create a memory. And I feel like there's a lot of memories that I missed out in 2021 that I think of now, and I'm like, damn, I wish I did that different. But yeah, like that's just a learning experience for me to evolve, and that's what I mean. I read Illa the producer's thing, and I'm like, holy shit! Like even someone like Illa went through the same shit as me, and I related to it, and I'm like, far like. It's not just me doing this as well. I'm sure it's plenty of people going through this. Like, so yeah, man, that was a big shock to my system as well, man. When I read that tweet, I was like, holy shit, like that just hit me. And I was like, damn, and I'm starting to think about all these moments. I'm like, I didn't even enjoy that. And bro, that hurt my feelings as well. Like, I'm 27, man. I should be enjoying every moment. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to look back at life and be like, I wish I did that different. I wish I enjoyed that moment, because I was too focused on creating art and getting too consumed in being a creator. Which I am. So sometimes I need to take a step back and just embrace my situation and embrace the people I have around me, and really just absorb that feeling in that moment and being within that moment to create a memory. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that as well, bro.
Yeah, I think I like what you said about the part of the unknown, being scared of the unknown. I think something that really eased my mind, because this is something that I've been going through as well. Not so much lately, but I remember when I did. It was a lot of consolation to know that no matter what happens, on some level, I'm always gonna be okay. Like, for example, if you start imagining, Luca, I don't know what your situation is, but if you start imagining like your worst case scenario, like even if that would happen, you're still alive, you're still breathing. Like you're not gonna die because of it. And I mean, at the end of the day, they're just feelings. They're not gonna kill you. So I mean, it's a good thing that you're hashing them out, and I think the whole community is here to support you. So I just want to let you know that.
I appreciate that, bro. Honestly, like, and that's what I mean. I've always been like, a lot of people know my story about my uncle who was disabled and stuff. Like a lot of this drive and energy, and what I do is really for him. Like I don't really promote it or anything like that, because I don't want people to give me sympathy or anything like that. But my uncle was born disabled. He passed away at age of 21. It's my dad's brother. I never met him because I wasn't alive then. But like a lot of my drive and a lot of my beliefs is the fact that as long as I'm breathing, bro, and I can walk and I can talk and I can see, I'm good. And at the end of the day, man, the demon in the head, bro, it's a battle. But then again, I always think like, bro, picture being on a wheelchair where you can't talk or you can't say anything, or you can't even move. Picture the demons in his head. So I'm just like, damn, bro, you know what I mean? Like that's another thing as well. Like he would have been going through it way more than me, and he can't even say how he feels. Right now, I'm going through it and I can say how I feel, which is crazy. But that's what I'm saying. Like even the most positive people still go through it. You know what I mean? Like there's no getting around. People can like flex and say, oh, bro, they're killing it and all this. Man, I know for a fact, like everyone goes through it. Like people can front on Twitter or Instagram and show that they got Rolls Royces and all this other shit. Bro, they are going through it as well. Like everyone goes through it. It's just how you manage that shit. But a lot of people like just front. And bro, I'm here in a space like just talking how I feel, because I know this is what's gonna make me better. This is what's gonna make me feel better. This is pretty much my therapy right now. And at the end of the day, like a lot of people know me as this positive person. And bro, last 2 weeks I've been going through it, and I admit that I'm going through it. And there's no hiding from it. I don't want to hide. I'm an artist, bro. This is what I do. I come out, I express how I feel, and this is how I'm going to become a better person and how I'm going to get over things. So, yeah, bro. Like, it's a crazy experience, and it's been an overwhelming experience. But I need to enjoy it more than get consumed in it, and that's why I've taken a step back from the socials and the Discord and everything, and I'm just focusing on, the art, and pretty much just being up in a space and just talking how I'm talking now, just letting everyone know that at the end of the day, like, it gets crazy when your following grows and you start selling heaps of shit. You start to get this feeling, and like I'm telling you, like, you'll be up and down about it, because you're always going to have your ups and you're always going to have your downs about a project. And the fact that, like, I'm doing this full time now, that sense of fear is there, but I know I'm confident in what I create and confident with who I am as a person, that I know I won't fail. And that's why I've taken this leap of faith, because I'm confident with who I am and what I can do. So I think it's just the fear, like it's just the fear and that thought in my head. But I know that, bro, my community behind me, like I know I'm gonna go to Exedia and beyond. So yeah, Commander, bro. I can just keep going, bro. Let's start bringing some people out. Let's start doing some shit. Because, bro, I can just keep it going,
Luca,
bro. I'm not gonna take the whole stage tonight, bro.
Luca, I love you. You should reset and retweet.
Yeah, hell yeah, let's do this shit. All right, wait. Commander has let me co-host this space with Scott. Hey, I appreciate you, Commander. I love you, Commanders. He's still alive. Thank fuck he's still alive. I think Omicron or COVID or both of them had a baby and fucked him up. Hey, everyone, it's 2022. This Commander's first space. I've been on my fucking rant. I've been getting emotional as hell. I got a smile on my face right now, because I'm hyped as fuck. Everyone, let's retweet the fucking room. I'm the first one to say it in Commander's space in 2022. This shit's lit. Hey, Commander, take the floor, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, Luca, we're all very proud of you, and man, just don't try to push progress. Let it just happen naturally. Let it do its natural thing. Don't get too stressed out about it. But yeah, so let's go ahead and reset the room. If we can please get a retweet for the pinned post that I have up on top, that'd be awesome. For those that are just coming in, thank you for stopping by. This is my first space for the new year. I do apologize to everyone in advance if I blow your eardrums out from the possible cough that may come. Still recovering from Rona, so it's going to be an interesting night for me. I'm always trying to fight back the coughs, so if it sounds like I'm making some weird noises here and there, just understand that's what it is. But yeah, so tonight I didn't really have anything to talk about. Just wanted to kind of start a space and see where it goes. If we want to keep the marketing space thing going tonight, we can go ahead and do that. If we want to go into a different direction, we can also do that. So if anyone here has any ideas of where we can go with this space, feel free to send me a tweet. You can put the tweet inside the pinned post on top if you guys want, about subjects you'd like to discuss today. I'm more than open to talk about anything you guys want. And yeah, so for the people that are just came in today, like Brian and a few of the other speakers, how are you guys doing today? What's new with you today? How was your New Year's? How was everyone's New Year's, for that matter? I want to know about it, because my ass was just in bed, so it's like I'm still in 2021 right now. So I need to live vicariously through you guys.
I was all right. I just stayed inside, got drunk, played some board games or card games, and then we watched some fireworks. That's about it. It was pretty chill.
That's cool.
Yeah, I probably sat here and stayed crunching on work as well too.
Nice. I heard. Sorry, I heard fireworks. I just didn't get a chance to see any fireworks because I'm too far away from the center of the city. So, and I was too afraid to go outside because it's getting really cold over here, so it's not ideal for me to be outside right now. So I've just been kind of underneath a mountain of blankets for the last little while.
It sounds pretty fucked up, Commander, bro.
Yeah, it's what it is. It is what it is. But yeah. So I got some tweets already. Let's see what you guys said. Community building and marketing. All right, I need some elaboration on that, buddy. Realgirl.eth. I need you to elaborate on that. But yeah. Anyone have any? I guess we can kind of do something kind of interesting. Actually, you know what? I want to do something. New Year's resolutions. I'm gonna go one by one on everyone right now in the chat. I'm not sure if this is already something that's been overdone, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I want to go one by one on you guys, and I want to hear what your New Year's resolutions. Let's try to keep it to 30 seconds or less. Bullet points. Don't go into a full monologue, so we can kind of get through everyone really quickly, and then we'll go from there. As soon as we'll go from there and see what kind of discussions we can have in the next couple hours. So Scott, what are your Jesus Christ, what are your New Year's resolutions for in NFTs and outside of NFTs?
Inside NFTs, it would have to be just as many musicians as I can onboard and swoop up and kidnap to Web3. And plant seeds, like as many as I can onboard, and hopefully in a year or two they'll be stars of the metaverse. And then another thing would be grow non-fungible beats, crazy style, like Illa was saying, next level fucking out of the box shit. And then personally, just keep shaking them haters, man.
All right, bro, that's awesome. Luca, what about you? Inside of NFTs, outside of NFTs?
Holy shit. Okay. Laugh all year. That's for sure. Number one, laugh all year. Be happy as fuck and be the best I can be. That's my thing. And that's in and out of NFTs, because if I'm doing that, I'm unstoppable. So yeah, bro, and you know what? Like everything that I said I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do. And that's me being the best I can. And what comes with that is everything on top of that. So yeah, bro, that's in and out of NFTs. Just be the best I can, bro. That's all I'm gonna do.
All right, great. I mean, that's you're just trying to keep it simple. That's awesome, dude. I appreciate that. Ucoin, what about you?
Yo, what's up, man? I don't really have any, to be honest with you. I'm pretty happy where I'm at in my life, so I don't feel like I need to resolute anything.
Okay.
But if I had to pick some personal things, probably, I've been in the Army for 13 years, so I'm taking a little bit of a detour from going from the enlisted to the officer side. So I have some old man physical fitness type goals I need to reach. So knocking a minute and a half off my 5-mile run and stuff like that. Those are my personal ones. I'm the voice of Yocoin that you guys hear on a daily basis, but I'm not the owner. I'm one of the 3 people who dev on the NFT side. But in the NFT space, I think I have some ideas of what I'd like to do for some of my personal projects, and I think probably trying to get one launched pretty soon on the personal side.
All right, sweet, dude. That's awesome. And how is that short term or long term? Is that like a thing that you'll be doing in the next couple months, or?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I may or may not already have some art completed, and it's
right.
pretty good idea of what I want to do. It's just fine tuning. Yeah.
Nice. Well, we can't wait to see it, man. God Cloud, what about you?
Yo, yo, yo. I know we said we're going to keep it short, but I'm going to talk about how my New Year's resolutions have all differed year to year throughout my entire 35-year existence. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, so within the NFT space, I want to get better. Not even get better. I want to start learning how to write smart contracts and get tight at coding. I want to be able to look at, a smart contract on, Solidity, Rust, whatever it may be, and know what's going on. A lot of my friends can, and they point things out to me, and I can get it, but I just, I know if I really sat down and put the time in, that I could figure it out. So that's my thing within the NFT space. Personal goals. I think I was talking about this in another room. I want to get back into the shape I was in when I was pro wrestling, and I want to get back in musical shape too. I want to tighten up a few things on my guitar and my bass, and maybe even learn to sight read. Who knows? We'll see.
Wait, you don't know how to sight read?
Nah, dude. Never learned.
Really? No
Yep.
shit.
Yeah.
What's sight reading?
That's nuts, dude. Some of the most talented people in the world when it comes to music don't know how to sight read, and I find that crazy, but at the same time super awesome. That you guys just have like a crazy ear talent, like it's all ear training for you guys, which is which is awesome. Like I know how to sight read.
Yeah, that's how I did it, man, for my whole life. Because I've been in orchestra and big bands and everything, but it's all about, I just listen. I'm like, okay, that's G. This is what I can do within there, and so
on. Yeah.
Real quick, what's sight reading? Is it like just?
So sight reading is so when someone puts a piece of written music in front of you, right, with notes and a key signature, and all sorts of other like symbols in music and stuff like that that are in it. You're able to read through it, play it while you're reading it. That's what sight reading is.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah. And then then there's people out there that don't need that, where they can just literally hear a piece of music, duplicate it, or do their own little riff on it, or they'll know exactly what notes need to be, like, let's say for instance, if there's like a jazz piece in concert B flat or something like that, right? They're able to kind of just hear that, and they'll know, oh, okay, I'm going to play in B flat. Great, bam. And then they're able to kind of do their own little riff on that, which is an amazing talent to have, honestly, because not many people are really good at that. Even me, like, I've been sight reading for years. I have challenges of just being able to hear something and automatically understand, that's the key that I'm supposed to be in. Sometimes I'll get it wrong, especially if the piece is flipping back and forth between key signatures. But
I've always actually wanted to learn how to sight read. I can like read music and write it, but I can't sight read yet myself. It's definitely a skill that a lot of musicians, even the ones of us who are like good at playing by ear or just on whim, we still want to learn how to do it. But it's just like one of those things you got to sit down and have the discipline to do.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really awesome, GodCloud. If you ever, if you ever need help with sight reading, I can help you with that. Like, I'm not fronting it here or anything like that. If you ever want to sit down and kind of pick my brain about cool ways to sight read, I was actually supposed to become a music teacher before I was a marketer. So I do understand, like, the trail you're supposed to kind of take in order to get pretty decent with sight reading.
dig it. Yeah, man, for sure. I when I was in college, I had to do like recitals and stuff for upright bass. That's what I went to school for upright bass. And I had my John Patitucci Etudes book. I still have it. But yeah, man, we could chop up about that at some point.
Sure. Just let me know when. Don't Feed, what's up?
Yo, so resolutions. I think I narrowed it down to basically the main one being unplugging. I've just from the nature of like my day job and that before I even got into crypto and NFTs really, and then just this space, obviously, like I don't think I've allowed my phone to be off for, maybe, I don't think I've even like allowed it to die. I did. That's half lie. I had one little period where one of my phones did die on me, and I had to go to the shop. And it was down for like an hour, but that's like the closest I've come to unplugging for like probably the last like 2 or 3 years, which is, I feel like, extremely unhealthy. And so yeah, that, and as God Cloud was saying too, like I think getting back on taking care of myself physically, like, and just yeah, that all got messed up starting probably like with COVID, like, so, and then working from home doesn't help too, right? But yeah, those are the main things. And as far as like, I mean, they personal, and they also apply to the space, but for the space in particular, I think just continuing to figure out ways to add value to this space. Like I feel like it's an uphill battle, and there's a lot more people taking from this space than are giving. So if you can find ways to give value and give, like it's the only way we can combat against the oversaturation of this market and just constant people trying to take advantage of others. If that makes sense.
That's great, man. Yeah, disconnecting from the internet, or disconnecting from anything on the internet's very, very difficult. Especially when you work from home and your entire livelihood is on the internet, and then you go back onto your phone to go check your statuses and all that stuff, and then it's damn near impossible. Yeah, so it's I understand, dude. It's hard. What was it, during Christmas? I was finding it actually difficult to stay off my fucking phone, because I was sitting there reaching for it in my pockets and everything, even though I knew that it was like upstairs, and like, I was sitting there having like a family dinner and everything. I kept touching my pockets for some reason. I was just sitting there like, I don't know. I felt like a Dave Chappelle skit where he was like, "Man, you got any more of those, like, you know what I mean? Like his crackhead skit that he did." I was just sitting there like, "Damn, dude, I have an issue. I cannot get off my phone. What is this?" And yeah, I guess I've come to the first step of realizing that I do have an issue, and I need to kind of figure out how to navigate this, because I don't know how to, unchain myself, I guess.
Well, the first step in fixing any problem is recognizing that you have one. So.
Oh yeah, I've recognized it. So,
so I think we all have that. I don't know, bro. I think we all got the same problem, man. Honestly, if you're out here hustling in this space, I think you're gonna have that problem.
Yeah, like what is step 2 after realizing that you got this issue?
You don't negotiate with your brain, bro.
Embracing it, I guess, and just like
skip straight to acceptance.
What would Anna say?
I think it's about setting goals too.
You don't negotiate with your brain. You don't let the brain control your life and take over your life. You do not negotiate with your brain. The brain has this one funny thing that is trying to do our whole life, and that's basically make it as painless and easy as possible to get us to the finish line, which is basically end up, death. But along the way, the brain's not trying to have you do anything that resembles any kind of resilience or any kind of resistance or anything like that. So you gotta write it down, make a plan, schedule it out, put it out on the paper. Don't just dimble it somewhere in your in your head, back in there. Write it down, put it down, put your schedule down on a piece of paper. I do this every Sunday, guys. I write out my entire week. I'm a bit of an extreme with this, but I write down by a 30-minute block. And I write everything, including taking breaks between my projects and between work. I write down spending time with my daughter. I write down things like surfing and golfing and things that bring me, things I enjoy, and just write it down, put it on the paper, and then, and do it again next week. But do not negotiate with your brain, this kind of bullshit of like, I don't really want to, and I don't feel like it. Like, fuck that shit. No.
I don't know about you, Brian, but my brain doesn't let me like rest at all. Like, yeah, I'm like, I don't know. It's the opposite for me, because like I just become like, okay, I got to do something else, and like, do something to rest or recharge. And my brain is like self-critical, like, oh, you need to do that now immediately. Don't rest. You can't rest. You can't go and spend time with your family because you have to work or do this or do that. And that's kind of the problem with my brain. So how do you negotiate, or you don't negotiate with that?
It's the
What do
same
you
thing.
do
It's a
with that?
different negotiation, right? It's a different. Your brain's telling you the opposite and of the
Yeah.
spectrum, but it's still brain, your brain controlling. So you got to start implementing certain reprogramming techniques to your daily routines. And one of the easiest ways to reprogram your brain is to associate whatever habit that you're trying to create or whatever routine you're trying to create associated with a physical physical activity, something that you do physically. I am gonna go on a limb here and in certain situations, I unconsciously would touch my nose constantly, kind of like not necessarily totally pick on my nose, but just something in this little tick, kind of like reaching for that phone in your pocket when you know that the phone's not there, right? Because the brain's looking for that constant stimulus, or it's a bit of a habit. So I was talking to Anya about it, and I said, "How can I get rid of this?" And says, every time you catch your brain subconsciously do this, even without you necessarily triggering the fact that you wanted to do this, just stand up and do like 3 or 4 or 5 squats, right? Just right there. Even if you're working on a computer, if you're in the middle of a Zoom call, whatever, just fucking stand up and do 5. It took me 2 days to get rid of it. Never did it again.
Wow.
My brain, eventually your brain goes like, oh, okay, like, yeah, no, don't do the squats, man, that sucks, like, just don't touch your nose. This is going to be just like, don't touch your nose. And you can reprogram your brain. There's so many different techniques and whatnot you could do. And Anna's going to be hosting another space on Thursday with Commander. Hopefully he'll feel much better by that time. And so you guys can bring up these questions again and ask directly from her mouth. But I live with this, but my main thing is not negotiating with the brain, putting things down, writing it down, and I write things like, it's important to write down things like breaks. I have a section 3 times a week where I pick up a guitar for about an hour and a half, and I just play music. I'm not a musician like many of you guys in the space here, but I've been playing guitar and musical instruments. I come from a pretty musical family, and I've been always playing instruments, drums, piano, guitar. So I have about 3 hours of my week, and then I have kind of like a dedicated slot time in my calendar, in my daily block calendar. And I just pick up the instrument, and I just, like, that's it. I just put my phone down unless I'm learning some new song or something, and I just pick it up and play. And I just do that. And my morning routine, getting up, waking up with and dude, I've had a baby. We have a 11 weeks now. She's actually going to be 12 weeks this morning. 12-week-old baby. So it tends to fuck up a lot of your plans even in that calendar. But you adapt. But start try to stick to that routine. And keep it sharp, because you want to live a life where you are in control of your body and of your life. You don't want to live a life where you're kind of a passenger in this, in having your brain driving you, subconscious, being kind of like in the back there and acting on your subconscious. You want to take control of that shit. That can do wonders, I've heard this a long time ago, and now that I found out Yocoin's here and he's in the military, being from Europe, there's like part of our PT kind of a education, or what you might call it. There's a little bit of like a military style training that we go through as young men over in Europe. I was the cutoff birth year, and then they stopped doing it eventually. But like one of the cool things you can do to make your day better is really like this simple thing. When you get up in the morning, the first thing I do before my feet touch the ground, first thing I do is I say, today's going to be a great day. I literally just about as my feet are about to touch the ground, I'm like, today's going to be a great day. Who am I talking to? Oh, I'm going to be talking with Commander. I'm talking to this guy. I got this too. I'm going to go play with my daughter. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to feel so much better. Got a little bit ache in my back. I'm going to stretch that out. Today's going to be a great day. This is number one. And number two, I make the bed. Because no matter how shitty of a day it's going to be, at the end of it, I'm always going to come back to bed. And I got to tell you, even if everything else goes south through the day, coming to a made bed, it's like this. It feels better. It makes you feel better.
Yes, you feel like an adult. Yes. You feel like your life's sorted. I 100% back this, because honestly, this is the best advice you could get. If you could just like make your bed in the morning, you come back to a sorted life, basically. So. Yes.
And then there's also that part where you're like, I really don't feel like it today. I just today I'm not gonna. Nope, that's the brain fucking with your schedule and the thing that you're doing. And do not negotiate with the brain. No, I'm making the bet. That's what I do, and there's no buts or if about it. That's it. I'm doing it. Right?
That's such a cool, like, imagine, like, every day your brain's like, no, you're too lazy, just go do your own thing, we'll make the bed later. But imagine like saying, no, but brain, I'm gonna make the bed right now. So I think that really helps.
Absolutely.
I really love this part of the conversation, because I'm like really big on practicing existentialism with myself, because like a lot of the time we're finding ourselves struggle with our own thoughts, and it takes like mental training of reprogramming one's subconsciousness in order to get these things to move the way you want to. Like you were saying, you can train your own mind, and that takes like for me, it's always been like a trick with meditation, and then moving into my subconscious and unconscious self to see these patterns. And it's not easy, but once you can still yourself enough to see your own mind clearly, you'll start to realize which parts of it you want to keep and which parts of it you need to change.
You know what was really interesting to me? Like, I was once talking to my sister about this, like how my brain is doing this, blah, 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 my brain is saying that. And she was like, it's interesting to me that you think of your brain as a separate entity from you. And I thought about that, like, why is that? Like, why do we think of our brain as a separate entity from us? So, and I've never really thought about, like, I don't know what the answer to that is, because, but
do you want the neurological science answer, or do you want the psychology answer? They're overlapping each other in certain ways, but we honestly, think of the brain as a separate. I don't think you mean separate entity. It's almost like but the brain is an interesting thing that lives in our body. You have your consciousness, and then you have your brain that is pre-programmed to protect your body and yourself from all kinds of stuff in the world. It's basically trying to make it easier. I don't know why it's doing that. I have a friend of mine. She's a published neuroscientist, and I'd love to get her onto the spaces one day. But she spent her, the last 30 years researching this kind of stuff, and she's the one who drove me, and then also following Anya's work, and Anna's working on her PhD, and she's published a bunch of books and things. So reading into her materials and watching results of hundreds of one-on-one sessions with her clients and helping them reprogram the brain. It's always the same thing. It's being conscious against your consciousness, against your being conscious against your unconscious. If I'm saying that right. So
Yeah.
it's always something that's happening in the background on an autopilot versus something that we consciously do and choose to do.
There's
And
the conscience and the conscious.
there
right?
you go.
Or the consciousness. Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. Trying to say like the conscience is that sort of part of you that controls you, yet it's not you.
I think this is a perfect topic for like the Thursday mental health space that we're going to be routinely having now, because there, Anya can answer this like 1,000 times better than I can. but yeah, no, I see it all the time. My brain is trying to have always put this bullshit in front of me of not doing something or doubting something or putting fears and shit in my head, and I'm like, no, get out of here, dude. Like, fucking leave me alone.
Curious, Brian. I got a quick question, if I can. Sorry, I apologize. How do you feel like your ego and consciousness are two separate things? This is something I already have like my own view on, but I'm curious to see other people's view on the differences between ego and consciousness.
I like to think about my ego more as a confidence than an ego. I think ego is, it's been kind of brought up in the recent history as more of a negative term. And so I try to focus on my confidence more than on my ego. And I'm usually pretty confident with things that I talk about or in rooms with people when we're having a conversation about, because if I don't know something, I either say I don't know, I'll find out, or because I know I can't find out. But if I don't know something, I usually just shut up, meaning I just, I don't engage in a conversation where I can't contribute in a way where I would have a valid or a constructive opinion on the matter, because I'm just not educated well enough on that topic to provide any kind of value, or I'm not educated enough to be part of the discussion or have an opinion on such matter. So when it comes to a topic or a situation where that happens, I just listen, because
you can ask questions though, right?
Yeah, you can ask questions. Yeah, absolutely. From like a third, basic third principles and whatnot, ask questions, and that's a different story, right? Like, let's say you're being in a conversation and people are debating something, and you really don't know much about the subject, so you can kind of first, you really need to listen, right? And any good leaders also do this, right? When you have a board meeting with your team or anything, your weekly report meeting, the best leaders of the team, don't come in with the idea, hey guys, this is what we're going to talk about, this is what I'm going to do. The first thing any good leader of a company that I've ever worked with is they just sit down and say, all right, so what's going on? And they, for an hour, they sit there and listen kind of everybody and absorb all of the information and mull it over in their head. And then they never make a decision that day. They said, all right, let me think about it. I'll sleep on it, and we'll discuss tomorrow, or we'll make a decision the next day. So where I was going with this is I'm pretty confident when it comes to talking about things that I know that I've been around for years, and I know a lot. I've witnessed a lot of different situations, and I can help with information and provide some value from the experiences that came to me over the years. And this comes from, that theory of putting in 10,000 hours. I've worked in the film industry and motion capture and all that. Part of the metaverse development kind of virtual platform world for the last 15 plus years. So I've put in my 10,000 hours and way beyond, because anybody who works in the film industry knows that we work 12-hour days, sometimes 6 days a week. So it's crazy. I've probably put in my 10,000 hours in 2.5 years or 3 years. So like I said, I've been doing this kind of stuff in other businesses for the last 15 years that surround that technology. So if we're talking about, virtual platforms and the metaverse and where it's heading, I feel very confident that I can talk about this. And usually when people come here and talk about their roadmaps and their all kinds of metaverse this and metaverse that, I can usually call them out on their bullshit with just asking smart questions. I'm not gonna embarrass or be rude to anybody, but I'll just ask smart questions. And if you don't have the answers to it, well, you don't really have you shouldn't really be in the arena playing, because if you can't answer these questions, Commander mentioned this the other day. Somebody had a session with him and fuck, I don't remember what it was. I think they asked him something like, "What's a lead?" About marketing and something like that. It was like, "What is a lead? What do you mean? What is a lead? If you don't know what a lead is, like, why like, thank you very much," and just get up and get up and left, right? So the ego thing, I don't really get my ego in a twist too much, or I think because I really don't engage in conversations or topics or discussions that I'm not well informed or educated. But if I want to, then my obsessive kind of a personality will go into a week or a 2 week rabbit hole of learning everything there is to learn about that topic, and then forming my own opinions. And then I come back and I ask questions. I still don't just blur out my opinions after 2 weeks, but then I feel like I have enough information to where I can go and ask questions. And then usually with those questions and those answers of people that I can tell that they've put in their 10,000 hours, I can usually start forming my own opinion.
Right. Again, I don't mean to reiterate the question. That was really dope. I love that response, but I feel like you kind of like lost the. I'm really trying to see what you're understanding. Like, do you feel there's a difference between consciousness, and ego? Because that's a question I feel a lot of my friends struggle with, and I'm trying to find more perspectives on between the layers between one's unique self and who they think they are. And for me, I feel like ego is who we think we are, and our consciousness is who we truly are. And those are two different things. And I was just curious about your perspective on that, you know what I mean? So that way I can try to find better ways to approach this for other people.
Sorry, guys, I had to attend to the little one for a second, so I put my headphones on and I caught the end of it and saying, "I would like your perspective on this." And at the same time as we were putting the baby down, I asked Anya, I was like, "What the fuck is the thing with the brain you told me?" And she was talking about the thinking mind, that's us being conscious, and then kind of consciousness on the background. That's the autopilot. That's the brain that runs all these decisions for us without even wanting us to make a decision. But if you repeat that question in 5 or 10 seconds, I'm sure I can try to
to
go back to that.
You ready? All right, cool. So, like, for me, I feel like personally, I have a very clear difference between who I think I am, which I label as ego. Ego is who I think I am. And then my consciousness is who I uniquely am as an individual being. I was curious about your viewpoint on the differences between these two things, consciousness and ego, one being the layer between true self and one being true self.
Brian, hit him with the I think I am the thing you said.
I think therefore I am.
Yeah, that's something I agree with too.
No, it's a different. That's a different one. But no, I hear. This this is an interesting question with the ego, because again, to be completely honest, bro, I don't really think of the ego as a part of myself. Like, I don't think of me. I don't even think of myself in that kind of a language. So it's hard for me to answer, and to be honest, it's probably, to give you a meaningful answer, I would probably have to think about it for a second instead of just kind of vomit something on the spot. So, I'm sure we'll run into each other in the space again, or, I might listen to some other people for a little bit and give me a minute to think about it. And then I'll give you an answer. But right now, I think it's something that, it's an interesting question, and I want to give it the proper time to respond, to think about it. But
yeah, I love that. I'd love to give my 2 cents on that. But whoever wanted to just speak, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick, Brian, this just made me think of something interesting that I don't know if I've asked you yet, but I was like, do you think, because you're talking about VR and possibly just like plugging directly in versus the whole, do you think we might reach a point where there's going to be, once that's like, let's say that's happening, that we have this like disassociative, like people are going to have issues differentiating reality from virtual reality when they come out and in, and what if things happen, or if there might be like I could imagine like court cases happening too, like somebody murders somebody or something and says that they thought, like they use in their defense that they felt like they were still in VR, or something like, I don't know, I feel like there's some like crazy things that are gonna happen with that, because yeah, I don't know.
You heard about the simulation theory? Have you heard of the simulation theory murders? Like there's people who've killed other people because they believe they're in a simulation.
Well, see, that's what makes me think that as we actually have like really good VR, and like that's what makes me think that there's definitely going to be an issue. Like I think some people are going to have trouble, especially if they spend countless like hours in living in it, right? And especially people who may already have like mental issues and things where they're just really not happy in their lives, and they're like using it as a form to escape rather than to just enjoy and connect with people. Like I feel like a lot of crazy things are going to come from this. Just something to reflect on, but like there's also a lot of good things too that will come from it, right?
I think it's always I think anytime technology pushes forward into something unknown and crazy, it's always going to be some kind of a social experiment to see how things play out. Forget VR or Matrix level kind of simulation where maybe the connection to your your brain is through like something like Neuralink or something like that, to where you can to truly immerse your senses into virtual spaces that are indistinguishable from reality. But like even if you just look at the rise of social media and the effect on teenage girls, teenage boys, young adults, and rise of certain scams and rise of certain mental health problems and issues. So I think with any new technology, any new adoption of this kind of a push forward, comes always some kind of consequences of the bad. So I think it's always the balance of the good, and it's something that Luca was talking about earlier in the chat. He was talking about like a little bit of struggle here, a little bit here, and he just kind of needs to get his head straight, and the relationship and this and the drawing. Anya especially, she talks about this a lot. She's a big believer of the fact that she thinks that we can have it all, meaning we can have a happy, fulfilled life with great family, great money, great experiences, great friends, and it can all be balanced. And I in a certain way, I feel like I'm a living proof of that. I do well for myself. I do well for my family. I love spending time with her. I'm genuinely happy with what I do. I wasn't always. I found my happiness, and which, by the way, to me is the winning lottery ticket. If you find happiness in life, nothing really else matters. Health. First, you need health. If you have health, you have everything that you need to construct your life into a way that brings that the happiness is definitely a possibility. But I hear you, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when it comes to that kind of level of immersiveness, where the reality. See, I think what's going to happen though is, because I am talking to a few people on the Neuralink team, and I'm talking to a few people in like the pushing the simulation of the render engines to re-rendering environments into realism, photorealism. When there becomes a bridge between the two, and the combination of the two becomes one, so we can kind of like experience this in simulation, I don't think you will be consciously aware of the fact that you are in a simulation. Now, I understand that there might be some kind of almost like a PTSD from spending too much time, but I also don't know if physically you'll be able to spend that much time, because your physical body will still need certain amount of, you know, fuel, bathroom, and whatnot, right? Like so I think you know, your body is an engine that runs, that needs to be oiled and checked and fueled and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I think I don't think putting yourself into a virtual simulation that, even though indistinguishable from reality, is going to trick your consciousness from not, like, you'll know that this is not, you won't be able to tell visually that this is not real. Physically, taste wise, all that will be the same, because, you know, if you really tapped into the brain and all the neuron connections, and you make that connection there directly to your brain, then you're tricking all your sensory organs to and tissue and everything. So this is interesting. Anya is actually writing her PhD that she's writing, and she will be writing for, I think she's got like a 1.5 year or 2 years left or something like that on her study, is the rise of the metaverse, the rise of the virtual space, the simulation. So she's writing her PhD on, you know, on that subject. So I think let's talk in 2 years and see what happens, man.
I genuinely think that you mentioned that the body is an engine. I think the body is the biggest grounding tool we have. So, for example, you're going to have to eat, you're going to have to go to the bathroom. So your body's going to constantly need, it's going to constantly remind you where you really are. It's a very big grounding tool that all of us have.
Well,
and that's why we're not going to get lost in that. And also, one more thing is, don't feed. I think there's going to be definitely a new set of laws and regulations when these metaverse or like this virtual reality actually becomes a big part of our lives. There's going to be a new set of laws, new set of ethics. There's going to be a lot more legal research going into this. So I definitely don't think we're going to be going into this. We shouldn't be going into this unprepared.
Curious.
Or definitely.
I don't want to interrupt you guys, because I don't want to forget this question, because it's a really good one, because Elon Musk talks about this and it throws me in the rabbit hole, and I think it will for you. I know you guys question this. Do you think we're in base reality then? Because that's a question that those of us who've like even looked at this field of life, some of us are like wondering, is it easy to tell if we're going to be in base reality or not? Because it's possible that a machine could completely simulate and replace all of those functions for you down the line.
Really? Like literally you're gonna be like so I don't know. I mean, I honestly, when you're sitting in mindfulness classes or any kind of like therapy or any kind of counseling or whatever, they tell you that, you know, the best way to ground yourself is through just simple breathing. So I don't know whether we're ever going to be separated from our physical being, because we'll always be, the quickest way to just remind ourselves where we are is to just breathe. And literally,
I want to touch on this real quick, VR, because this is very, very, very cool and very important that you touched on this. Base reality, I'll touch on that in a second, or have somebody else to speak about that. And but the breathing, I have a really interesting thing that came across my table just a few years back, and that's the power of breath. Breath is the one thing that is with us as human beings from day one, from the day we're born till the day we die. Breath is present with every emotion. When you freak out, when you're scared, what happened? What changes? Your breath. When you're happy, when you're laughing, what changes? Your breath. When you feel anxiety, what changes? Your breath. Breath is directly linked to every emotion we as human beings feel and experience directly. If you learn to navigate your breath, you will learn to navigate your emotions, and you will be able to take control of your life and your emotions and reactions to things that happen in your life that are driven by emotion. Where you would otherwise not act on an emotion, you'll be able to control that emotion if you can control your breath. So I'm glad that VR touched on this, because one of the things that I've been focusing on the past like 6 or 7 years on is completely understanding the whole spectrum of the power of breath and how it directly links and connects with your emotions and acting on that. Yeah, so if I can recommend something for the New Year's to the community, look into your breathing and learn to understand the difference in breathing and how to control it. Because if you can learn to control your breathing at a very high stress, tense situations, you will be able to be extremely calm. And if you can be calm in a high tense, stressful situation, you'll be thinking clearly, and your chances to successfully resolving any obstacle or challenge or something that is in your way will be exponentially higher than if you're out of breath, freaking out, and can control your emotion. You have that weird feeling in your stomach, just things are going south, and yeah. So I'm glad that VR touched on the breathing, because that's something that I think could help a lot of people. And it's very simple. And it's, like I said, it's with us. Breath is with you 24/7, your entire life, the whole life. It's part of everything that you do.
I also feel like answering to the base reality question. I think if you think about it, the fact that your body is present, and then you can feel your body, you're conscious of your body's needs and where it is, your surroundings, your environment. I think that in essence would define base reality, or in my mind that should define base reality, where you find yourself physically and where you're aware of yourself physically. Like in virtual reality, like Brian said, it'll be very immersive. You'll be able to like see, and like you wouldn't be able to differentiate what you're seeing is not real or what, but your feel, like your like the touch, your sense of taste and smell, that's what's going to connect you to what's really real. And I think that's where the base reality should come from that.
See, that's the thing. The trick about that, though, is that we're speaking on the concept of technology being so advanced that it's capable of completely replacing all of these senses entirely.
That's a far way off.
And
that's
the
really
thing is,
far
but this
off.
is the thing. But this is the question, though, because technology is already heading that way. Who's to say we're not in something like this already? That's the question of simulation theory, and whether or not we're in a simulation.
I see. So you're asking if this is base reality in terms of if that's the case. I mean, I used to study years of near death experience. Like I was obsessed with that all through high school and into college, of people talking about when they die, what they'd experience, the out of body experience, being in a different room and hearing and talking about what their loved ones said about their dead, about their death, and being able to recount those things upon being resuscitated, and the different realities that they found themselves in. And yeah, it's like, in some ways, I do believe that this is not base reality. But then you get more into the metaphysical and spiritual side of things, right? Which not everyone believes. But I mean, yeah, I think that the reality is the reality sort of is a simulation in a way. If you look at the way that energy has sort of taken shape into our reality, right? Into all these different forms.
How hard this question is to answer.
But I think, will technology ever replace that? I mean, that's completely theoretical. There's no way to ever know that. I think that it's possible. I mean, anything's possible. But to try to completely replicate this, I don't know if that's I don't know if even an AI is capable of one day replacing God particles, right? And the complexity of the universe. I think that is something beyond any human understanding, anything that we could ever grasp at as humans, or even as technology grows, with the limited resources at our disposal. I mean, for Christ's sake, we're on a chip shortage right now. Like, I'm sure we'll figure it out one day, but like, there's only so many resources we have to at our disposal. Technology. There's going to be limitations to anything,
right?
Including technology. At a point where
if you look up though, all you need to do is look up and the amount of resources. If you talk about like silica or precious minerals or metals, if you just look up, there's literally rocks size of the
actual
Manhattan.
like replicating the experience of like.
I think if you bring it to what you were talking about, like a spiritual, I think I agree with you there. It's kind of a challenging theory. If you bring it into mathematics, it's highly likely that this is a simulation.
Yes.
If you look at the rate of improvement from 1980s or whatever, like from the Pong to what we have now, and Elon talks about this a lot. And I've had some private conversations with him actually about this.
Oh shit!
If you assume like he says, if you assume any improvement whatsoever in a small percentile, if we decrease the current rate of improvement from what it is to like a 0.1% or something a year or something like that, okay, fine. Still, 500 or 1,000 years from now, the technology of the virtual worlds and the simulation will be indistinguishable from reality. I mean, they connected a brain of a monkey to a controller this year, and the monkey was controlling a virtual cube with her brain, basically telepathically, to get a reward in form of a treat. So
wow.
I don't know, man. Like I said, you can. I can definitely fight this argument with you along the side of you with the spiritual side of it, but when you bring in the math into it, it's just a matter of time. This is just an equation.
Oh yeah, like I said, it's possible. There's no one is going to be able to say for certain how like down to the minute detail things will be able to be. Where you're talking about it being indistinguishable was a lot. I mean, yeah, the math, yeah, but beyond that,
I think sex is going to play a huge role in this.
The thing is, it could easily well exceed life because of the things that we'd be able to do in a digital realm compared to the real realm too. So, like, if it evolves to that point where it's able to replace our senses and everything too, it's going to get intense, and some people might have issues from just being able to pull themselves from these false realities.
If you can simulate, being able to do drugs like in that reality, that's gonna like put up a whole new set of questions.
I didn't even think about that. Fuck, that's dope. That's
right?
Isn't that already being done?
Like a psychedelic.
Guys, hold on, because Tim's had his hand up. I think it's gonna fall off. Tim, do you have something you want to say about this?
Oh no, I'm really fascinated by the conversation, but
fair enough.
And there's but I was going to just sort of introduce a concept which I'm sure a few might know. I don't know, but I discovered it a few years ago. It's a Japanese concept called Ikigai. Which really sort of helps define when you're actually in a zone where you've got complete happiness. And it's where it sort of links in things like, your passion, what you're good at, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, your profession, what you're good at. And when it all comes together in this Venn diagram, it becomes incredibly powerful. It's all linking into this idea of the ego and the consciousness. And when those two merge together and you just become, you find your mission in life. And it was just to interject that if people had heard of the concept or explored the concept of Ikigai at all.
You were there?
I not. But heard or explored Ikigai.
Oh, so I basically had a question just about this in general. So I just wanted to ask, because I know there's two standpoints, spiritual and mathematical. So I just wanted to ask, what is your definition of reality? Because what I believe is, if you can't determine, what reality, how can you determine like what reality is if you can't define it? So what's you guys' definition of reality in general?
I think we have there's plenty of ways you can you can do certain tests to to test your consciousness and kind of get an idea of what reality is to you. But somebody said this to me the other day. He says like, what's and I you kind of have to agree to it to a certain degree. But if you want to live in that world, you better strap up, because it's going to be a fucking crazy one, right? Somebody told me the other day that what is real to them, how did they? Somebody I was talking about something, and they were like, well, what's real to me, that's my reality. Like if it feels real to me, that's my reality. And I'm like, well, yes, but if you come up with shit like the sky is green, I don't care like what it feels like. You just
that's not shared. That's not actual reality, right? That's
exactly
so
like
perception. That sounds like consensus reality.
Yeah, because Brian, you were just arguing the point of like the mathematical aspect. So like if they said the sky is green, what if they were like colorblind, or like what if they had like different spectrums that they could see?
Sure. But
color?
now that's a mathematically or scientifically identifiable defect of your optical nervous system, right? So we can look at that. We can study it. We can find it, and we can either cure it, or we can see that problem, and we can put it on a spectrum of a problem or defect here of like the optical nerve, right? So that breaks down.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, you go ahead. Yeah, that was a good question. I hear you. It's a good question.
Yeah,
and I really also wanted to point out real quick that I don't necessarily stand on one side or the other of the spiritual or mathematical. The question simply lies on base reality, simulation, and I just said from a mathematical point of view, the same question could be answered this way for the aliens. There's a mathematical equations for the likelihood of life happening the way that it happened on Earth inside of in the universe, right? I'm not talking about our galaxy, I'm talking about the entire universe. If you take the number of galaxies, if you take the number of stars and solar systems and galaxies and the number of planets, and you just simply do the math, and then you do the math of the evolution of what happened on Earth and the probability theory, the math is going to spit out a extremely high number of the probability that life has evolved elsewhere in the universe. If the skies is not fooling us, and it is actually the amount of galaxies that we can see with the telescope, and the amount of solar systems, and the amount of exoplanets meaning planets that orbit a star in what we call the Goldilocks zone, which is kind of the right, it's the right distance to be warm but not be cold and warm enough to where liquid water can form, which we know as of today, that's the founding block for life, right, is H2O. So we have identified in the last 20 years, but really in the last decade, we have identified over 800 planets that are orbiting nearby stars in just in our galaxy, not even the other galaxies, not even the billions of galaxies outside of Milky Way, right? So you can just plug that in as a variables of an equation, and you spit out a number where like, wow, there's like 53 million or something like, or 53,000 possibilities throughout the universe that the life has evolved exactly the same way that it did on Earth, or very close to it, like with some probability and some fluctuations, in the equation. However, so that's what I'm kind of looking at it from a point of view, like you just can't cheat the results of the math.
So I definitely see where you're coming from. I'm not on any sides as well. Like I'm just playing devil advocates here, right? So like let's say we're going with the math concept, right? Aren't those equations still based on like theories that haven't been proven yet, like such as H2O?
No.
H2O, we only have just one planet where we realize that H2O is like the main source. how do we know on other planets that H2O is the main source if we don't have more than one like variable or more than one?
But I was giving you an example of life evolving exactly the way it happened on Earth. I wasn't saying that life could evolve differently with different chemicals and different composition. Now we know that in the universe, the base, founding is a carbon, right? For life, it's carbon. So we,
but that's for our life, though.
Sure,
that
but
might not be.
I agree. I agree with you. But so if you plug in other possibilities in that equation, that number is going to even skyrocket higher. What I was simply saying is the number of planets that have developed in the way that Earth has developed with liquid oceans and H2O, and you plug that into the equation, and you get thousands, if actually it's millions of possibilities that this happened throughout the universe. So what I'm trying to say is if you add to that with your theory of like different founding blocks, like for human, carbon, H2O, let's just say it's not oxygen, it's whatever, I don't know, and then you add that to our equation, the number is going to go even higher, because now you have two possible. Now you would be saying, well, there's a possibility for even more of a different life form in a different environment, right? So, yeah, that would just make the argument actually stronger, not weaker.
But the thing that's like getting to me, like regarding the math part, like where I can't hold it against like the spiritual side, is like the math and like the science is like based on still theoretical beliefs as well, as along with like the spiritual side. So they are both not like zero sum 100% like factual. Maybe on our planet it might be factual, but how do we know? Like, we don't even know like the size of the universe. We're really like in a small spectrum, like when it comes to that. So how can we take the mathematics and say it's better than the spiritual if it's still based on like founding like theories?
I mean, so if I could just chime in, so I see where you're coming from, and that's kind of where I was questioning, like, okay, really though, does the math say that we could replicate reality? Because like, yeah, we might be able to replicate things on a mathematical front, but there's a lot more than math. Like, okay, maybe we can replicate reality, but you can't replicate the fact that I need water to survive. I need to drink water, right? So it's like you can replicate the look, the feel of water, but you would have to give me water from our reality in order for me to drink it. You can't replicate that water in virtual reality.
Well, that's
the
thing.
Reality.
That's the thing. They can't do that now, but there will be a point where you are capable of drinking water made in a virtual reality, and I promise you that is going to eventually happen.
So you're saying essentially like a fabricator, like someone. So essentially, in the future, you're essentially in this scenario, we are saying that there will be with 100% certainty the ability to fabricate anything, anything, like just create mountains, create rocks, create water, create a whole nother Earth.
At least in a virtual environment.
The Earth could basically end tomorrow, so no, it's not 100% guaranteed. But I think.
No, I mean, like for instance, if we just continued, you're saying that there is, like, because you're basically saying there will be a point where we can fabricate water out of with a fabricator or some sort of device. I'm curious where that.
I think if you can imagine it, it's probably possible. And I say probably because I don't know shit about the subject, and I'm more.
So it's theoretical. Yeah. So we're basically talking about theory right now. This is all theoretical stuff. Which, yeah. So
but wouldn't that virtual reality technically still be this reality here? Because unless like you're disconnecting something like as a whole and like just splitting like the spectrum, the space-time continuum or something like that, wouldn't that still be based on this reality like that we're living in right now? It's the same reality, right?
I think as long as we have a physical body, I don't think we're going to be disconnected from reality ever.
So it's one reality.
So guys, I just see that Commander has had his hand up for like a few minutes, and I feel really weird about that. So
And Commander, like, also, what happened to everybody's New Year's Eve resolutions? We never got to hear from everyone.
I mean, that's what I was going to say. We've been at this for an hour now, debating reality when we were talking about New Year's resolutions. So I was just trying to see if we can, at some point, try to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes with the reality discussion.
My bad. I got nerded out. You know, I was really interested in what Brian was saying.
No, go for it. I mean, if you guys wanna hash it out and go like lightning rounds for the next 5 minutes, I'm cool with that. But let's go back to the New Year's resolutions because that's more digestible. I'm over here kind of like feeling dumb because I have no idea what the fuck you guys are talking about.
Same, bro. I was like, I know I'm high, but I have fucking no idea what anybody's talking about, bro.
Scott, this is the best high conversation, though. I mean, this is gonna be fun.
No, it's cool when you understand. I just said, like, yeah, man, I have no idea what's going on.
I wish you had said something. You know, you would have come up with really cool answers.
Yeah, bro. Just let us know.
Yeah, but I also think that it's amazing that the community can get 5 people into the room that can have different perspective on such, high kind of a caliber topic, and people can hold their own in a conversation. And I love the fact that Commander allows for this to happen organically and naturally in these spaces as well. That sometimes the conversation just flows somewhere fun and crazy and I saw the growth of the rooms since we've been talking about it as well. Like, some people genuinely love this topic and they live in it. They research the science and work in it. So I really admire the fact that Commander sometimes takes the seat back too and lets the speakers kind of like, if there's an interesting topic, to let everybody hash it out. So, I mean, that's one of the things I love about the rooms, and specifically about Commander's room, because a lot of rooms that I go into where there's a host and a co-host, it's a kind of a little bit of like an ego fest of like make sure you hear me talk, and let's make sure that you guys understand that I know this and I know that, and I want to tell this and share this and tell that. That's been my experience with most rooms, but then I come to Commander's room and we can be talking about this problem and this thing and NFT and marketing and simulation theory and reality and technology.
We were talking about, Brian, New Year's Eve resolutions, and it turned into a conversation on reality. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the whole, I think that's the beauty of it. Speaking of New Year's resolutions, I really like I can't remember who it was, but somebody said that I don't necessarily have that many New Year's resolutions or anything like that. We went to bed at 11, so we slept through the whole New Year thing because we have a newborn. So we were like, she's sleeping, we're fucking going to bed, taking a chance here, trying to get to sleep any chance we get. And if I can just, I just want to have the lows of the year to be a lesson so I can appreciate the highs or appreciate the ups. I like that my life has ups and downs, but it's a constant trajectory up. It's kind of, if I would look at it as a graph, there's up down a little bit, but overall my life has been going up. And I also love what I do, and the people that I work with have some outside of the metaverse or outside of the NFT world. I'm a new father, so I really want to be a present and a great father. And so far, it's been amazing, and I've been enjoying every minute of it, and I love it. And I love the fact that I love what I do, and that what I do allows me to stay home and work from home most part, and spend time with my daughter anytime I want. I can take her, put in a stroller, go out for a walk, and or just take her and hold her and play with her. So that's outside of NFT. And then inside of NFT, there's a massive project that I'm working on that we're launching very, very soon. There's few people in the room who are aware of it, that know what I'm working on. They can, give a little bit of info on that maybe if they feel like it. If not, no big deal. But I'm very, very excited. We're working on a big infrastructure project for NFT projects that are working on like the metaverse applications. And so I just hope to hire and interact with more and more amazing talents around the world that continuously, impress me on daily basis with their talent, generosity, and kindness. So that's my that's my 2021 to 2022 kind of a, roadmap.
You said your daughter's 12 weeks old?
Yes, sir. Yeah, 12 weeks. And a funny fact for all the nerds and geeks out there, we didn't have a name for her until like 2 days before the official due date. She was born 2 weeks after that. And I'm a massive Star Wars fan, but I swear to God, this was not planned. We were laying in bed, and one night we're like, we got to name this fucking kid. We got to fucking pick a name. We can't just, like go to the hospital and like, we'll figure it out later. No, we got to pick a name. And somehow, just out of nowhere, I was like, hey, do you like Leia? And my wife goes like, yeah, I really liked it. And then out of the blue, in a 3-second period from that, she goes, I was thinking for a middle name, can we name her Sky? And I was like, yeah. And then 2 seconds after that, I'm like, you understand my last name is Walker, right? So if we name her Leia and middle name Sky and my name is Walker, she's going to be Leia Skywalker. And there you go. We have a Leia Skywalker at home.
That's fucking cool, dude. That's so awesome.
Great. Cool. It's the coolest ride in the world.
Hey there, Fiona. What's up?
Hey, I was just listening to your guys' conversation, and I just thought, why aren't there more girls talking about theories about reality and the future of reality?
Well, here you are.
And yeah, and I don't know if I'm too late for the conversation, but I was just thinking, like, as much as I appreciate technology and where everything's going, I do think that we have to consider the spirit and the soul and these old beliefs of where the soul goes in the afterlife and where the soul even is now, and there being alternate dimensions, and things existing in places that we can't really see as far as we know, and also where the spirit goes in the afterlife, and then technology evolving to a level where we might be able to create or recreate or replicate or imagine all these different things on a quantum level. But the thing is that what if the illusion of technology, what if the illusion of liberation through technology could actually be binding our souls? Like, what if there's this illusion, seductive illusion, that everything's possible through technology, but actually it trapped our spirits? And what if our actual spirits, our soul, could transcend to an even higher plane that we just didn't know was there? So, to me, there's just this question of getting trapped within technology and that fine balance between coexisting with technology and being trapped by it or overcome or even enslaved by it, with AI and artificial intelligence. It's like it could give us the illusion that we exceeded all limits, but what if it's just an illusion and we're actually being farmed for our energy? I mean, there are just so many different ways that it could go. I don't know, just a few thoughts to throw out there.
We're already being farmed by our energy, though. Like, if you think about it, when I say we, I don't mean literally everybody, but the majority of people on the planet have a job, they work, they put in their energy in their job to generate money, and that money is then put into the system, right? So it's not really a theory, it is a reality to some extent.
I have a thought on that. So we often think it's to generate money, but we could reframe that, and I try to daily. I have a job, I work for myself. I put my energy into that to generate good product, whatever that is that I want the world to enjoy, right? Or to, if I think they need something. So if I think, Lee, you need something that I have, I work every day to make sure that that gets in front of you, right? And then if it gets in front of you and you need it, then that generates money. So I think being enslaved to technology is a terrifying thought. Of course, I think that Commander touched on being trapped in a cycle with technology. That is probably as close as I'd ever want to be to being enslaved, which is that tapping for your phone even though you know it's not there, or